What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new show on Dakota Talk Show. This is a different show from the main show. It's called Capes and Crusaders. So, what this show's about is it's a comic book centric show. And I'm doing it with two of my other friends, Scarlett and Jonil. They're here with me today. They're going to be doing the audio while I'm showing the audio and the visual. Um, and today we're going to have a rundown of different topics that we're going to be talking about. So, first, I just want to introduce them to the show and introduce them to you guys. So, Scarlett, Jonil, thank you guys for coming and supporting the channel with you guys coming to appear. Do you guys want to say something to the audience yourselves?
I can't wait to
Uh,
do this, and it's going to be fun.
this is gonna be fun, and some people might hate me for my opinions, but it doesn't matter.
Just a forewarning, both of these people have terrible opinions but they are opinions. They just happen to be wrong. Um,
Here we go.
Scarlett has a lot of hot takes. Jonil, he says Spider-Man 3 was good. So that's all you need to know.
Yeah,
So we're just gonna get right
there's
into
nothing
it.
wrong with it.
So this is, like I said, brand new show to the channel. We're gonna try to make it a weekly show with maybe sometimes different segments coming along, and we just add a new episode. So just stay tuned for that kind of stuff. So give me a second. All right. So we're just gonna get right into the topics. So today we're gonna talk about Venom and the sequel to Venom, Venom 2. They released a new teaser trailer releasing the
It's not
releasing
even.
the
It's not
second
even.
title.
It's not even a teaser trailer. It's more like, hey, we're making this movie, which
Well,
doesn't even
okay,
need.
not a trailer, but it was a teaser, and it was announced that the second movie's title will be Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a pretty dope name. I think that's pretty cool. Like when I hear that, that's not like what we've
No,
got in the
it's
past.
pretty dumb.
You think it's dumb?
Yeah,
Why is it
like
dumb?
if you because every time I see the title, I just remember the post credit scene of Woody Harrelson in a terrible carrot top wig saying there's gonna be carnage, and I
Look,
can't.
ever since Spider-Man, Iron Man, even Blade, like we've had like very contemporary movies and titles. Now we have Venom: Let There Be Carnage. We have Thor: Love and Thunder. We got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. These names are blowing my mind. I'm loving every bit of it. We're getting more comic booky. We're getting more nerdy. We're getting more. I'm just loving it. I don't know what you don't see about it, Scarlett. What do you think?
I
I think that was the whole point. They didn't give you those crazy names in the beginning because the whole point was to build up the MCU and introduce you to the characters. And then once they start making sequels, then they'll start adding crazy names.
Yeah, because the general public wouldn't uh, they probably wouldn't be interested into it. But nowadays, comic books and comic movies are some of the most popular stuff going on in today's culture. But what do you think about the title?
I think it's a cool title. I'm a little excited how they're going to vary this version of Carnage versus the comic version of Carnage. It's like a completely different feel. And I think Tom Hardy is going to kill it as Venom. I think he's a great actor and he did a great role. And it's going to be good.
Now, there's been some rumors about Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man appearing in the last movie, and that's carrying over into this movie, especially with the original exit of Spider-Man in the MCU. Now we have him back for a third movie with room for more if a new contract is made. But do you guys think that Spider-Man might actually be in this movie? We know that there was a scene filmed with Tom Holland the last movie. It just got cut from the movie. So what do you guys think about this one?
They might add him in just for the fact that Venom, I think, is one of the main Spider-Man villains. So why wouldn't they just let him like have a cameo? Especially since they're both Sony. It's not like Spider-Man was supposed to belong to Sony, but the MCU just happened to add him in. So they got into a big argument over that. Why wouldn't they add him into the Venom movies?
Well, maybe because the fact that the MCU has its own brand. The Sony, they're doing their own thing. Marvel's doing their own thing, and to get that mixed up with Tom Holland, that might be a little bit confusing for some people. So that's probably why. But Johnny, what do you think? Do you want him in the Venom movie?
at this point, it doesn't really matter because when the first Venom came out, they said, "Oh, Spider-Man's not gonna be in it. He's unattached to it." So if they add him in, I'm just like, okay, what's the point? You already did the damage.
Would you
You already
want
set
him
up
in it?
Venom. I don't know.
Yeah, I would. I mean, imagine the dynamic between Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. I think that'd be interesting to see.
Now, I
The
was gonna say,
dynamic between both of them will be that Tom Hardy would act like a buffoon every time he said a line because that was basically him and Venom, and then you'd have Tom Holland acting surprised every 20 seconds. So that'd be the dynamic.
I mean, wouldn't you if you're a
Wow.
16-year-old superhero learning everything for the first time?
It's a very salty dynamic.
You know, I was gonna suggest maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man could be in it instead of Tom
Get out
Holland.
of here. Get
You know
out of
what?
here with that.
You know what? I was gonna
But-
say the same thing.
but-
I was gonna say the same thing.
He already had Venom. So
We don't talk about that.
what if Andrew
I wanna
Garfield's
talk about that.
Spider-Man? What if Andrew
No.
Garfield's what if
No.
Andrew Garfield's interpretation of Spider-Man?
No, stop it. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Look, Toby already
That's a
had his
bad
Venom.
idea.
Toby already had his Venom.
Okay.
You have been stopped, Dakota. You have been stopped.
Okay. But even if he like, what if it's like, oh, there's another one that came because in Venom they established there's more, so why not have another
More
version
what?
of Venom come down? More symbiotes like
Oh.
Riot, the yellow one.
What
and
does
all
that
the
have to
other
do with
ones.
what does that have to do with Spider-Man though?
Okay, so you're saying the reason why you don't want Tobey Maguire is because they already had a Venom. So why not have
but that was
a
Venom
different
Venom
version?
though. Oh, did they ever call him Venom?
Okay. Huh?
Yeah, they did.
They called him Venom in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. And
I
then
don't
and
know.
Eddie Brock too. They had said everything. This dork from that 70s show.
Yeah. I don't know
You know
what
what?
you think about.
You know
I don't know
what?
why you think that movie is as good as it is. Maybe
You know what?
maybe it's like the prequels, and when you watch it again
No.
when you're older, you can appreciate it more.
It's pretty garbage.
Next
at any
episode,
age, whether you're
the next episode, that will be the topic, Spider-Man 3. Because
gonna
there's a
stop you right
lot of good. Hold on, no. There's a lot of good things in that movie that worked a lot to the story. So, sure, it's some of it is bad, some of it is good.
Would you want to do a review on it?
meant all of
Like
it.
a whole
Yes.
episode? Like a
Yes,
whole
I would
episode
love
for
to.
you just to review it?
Oh, just me?
I mean, if you want, I mean, I'm gonna just say it's garbage every time, and I really don't want to watch it again.
I agree. I concur.
I mean, you already made all your points about Venom.
Wow.
If you want to do your,
For
review,
me?
I could join you. I mean, I want this just to be more about just me.
That's
I want
the
other people
point.
to take off
It's
with
a
it.
hot take of Spider-Man 3 and how it actually was the almost
That actually,
perfect
you actually
finale.
reminded me. Me and Scarlett were talking before the show started. Next episode we're gonna do a weekly rundown just like we did right now. But if there is anything, because right now, there's nothing out. Worst
Everything
time
is
to make
slow.
a podcast, to be honest. It's really slow out there. Besides everything getting
Just-
moved back, it really sucks. It really does. But that's the industry. But we're gonna do a separate episode besides that, where we're talking about we're gonna review Endgame.
Oh God.
So our homework is this week to watch
Oh.
Endgame and take some notes on it. Now I'm not talking about an hour worth of notes per person. I'm talking about the highlights, your dislikes, your likes.
There are no highlights, and it's all dislike because
Captain
There
America
are some
holding up the
highlights.
no. You know what? This is not the topic.
There's
for
some
that.
highlights there. There's some
There
highlights.
are a lot of highlights. 3 hours worth of highlights.
I mean,
So-
I wouldn't say a lot. But
All right, so
there's some
we're
highlights.
guys. We're getting off topic a little bit, but okay. So
We're
that
getting
was
distracted. I just want to talk about Venom.
all right. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage coming out this year. I think I totally forgot.
Next year.
next year
20,
they're filming it.
It is next year. Yeah, you're
2021.
right. Yeah, I'll have the title pop up on the screen. with the release date. All right, so I'm looking forward to it. The first one was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
It was cool.
I just wish Sony would stop trying to take Tom Holland away from us. You know, really bothers me.
That's the only thing Sony has to live for. That's
That is the
why.
only thing. But now they have Spider-Verse. They can leave us alone. Let us have the live action. You take that movie was amazing. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I think, yeah,
Which
it
one?
was in Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I just think
yeah,
it was so true to what the character of Spider-Man is.
that was a good movie.
The best line of the entire movie. When will I know when I'm Spider-Man? You take a leap of faith, you know? And then he takes a leap of faith in the new suit, jumps off the building, and it's the music playing, and it goes ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It was beautiful.
That was the most creative, visually creative, like
I
comic
would
book
say of all time.
movie I've seen in a long time.
I would say of all time. They literally
You're right.
made comic
Yeah.
book. They made comic book pages move.
It kind of reminded me of the Ultimate Spider-Man game for the PS2 from 2005.
Oh wow,
In a
that's
way,
a long time ago.
yeah, yeah, and it reminded me of that feel. Like it was really good.
Okay. All right. So that was Venom. Let There Be Carnage coming out summer
And
2021. Let us know your thoughts below.
and now for
Uh,
the
hmm?
and now for the best part of it all. Now for the best part of it all, where we talk about this
Relax. I'm
heap
not done. I am not done.
of mess.
I am
This
finishing up
movie
the topic.
is.
Relax. Relax. All right. So let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you interested in it? Are you not? Let us know your thoughts on the first Venom, and if you're interested in seeing Spider-Man pop up in the second one. So now we're gonna, like Jonil was saying, we're gonna transition to our next topic. I talked a little bit about this on the main show. Doctor Strange 2, which otherwise known as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it has a new director. The first one bailed out because there were some creative differences between the director and Marvel Studios. They say creative differences, but that really just means they couldn't see eye to eye on a few things, so they just went in a different direction. And might I say, they went in probably one of the best directions they could have by getting Spider-Man 2 director Sam Raimi. So if you remember, Sam Raimi directed the original trilogy. If you didn't like the last Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, don't worry about that one. That one was it had a lot of creative problems because of the Sony executives at the time. But right now with Marvel, I think personally, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good movie. Just on this alone.
Did you just say don't worry about Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, so don't worry about it. I don't want people thinking that Spider-Man 3 is a bad movie and that it's gonna mess with this one. Just remember Spider-Man 2, one of the best critically acclaimed comic book movies of all time. That guy is coming on Doctor Strange 2. So, guys, what do you think? Scarlett, give me your opinion.
I personally think that what makes a movie is a director. Like you can have the best actors in the world, but if you don't have a good director who knows what they're doing and how to take the storyline, it's gonna be garbage. So I'm not too sure how it's gonna end up, to be honest, because I personally didn't really like the feel of the original Spider-Man trilogy just because they made it feel so awkward and weird and just felt a little like a parody of Spider-Man as opposed to real good movies like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So honestly, they should have kept the first director that did the original Doctor Strange because, and I'm going to say this, Doctor Strange is one of the best MCU movies made in the past few years, and that's my opinion.
Okay. I can't say I agree with you. It was a good movie, not one of the best, but you know, to be honest, we just gotta wait to see what happens. We gotta see in what kind of direction they take this in. Can't forget that
Why
Scarlet
wasn't it
Witch
one of the best, in your opinion?
is just not one of the best just because there's so many good movies. They have a lot of good movies. My favorites consist of Endgame, Winter Soldier, Iron Man. Calm down. Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just there's a lot of good movies, so I can't say it's one of my favorites or one of my best. Doctor Strange is
how
one of
was
my
it?
favorite characters. It was a good movie. I'm not saying it's not a good movie, just not one of my favorites. I loved Doctor Strange in Infinity War. I loved him in Endgame. I liked him in Doctor Strange. It's just I'm tired of the origin story. I just want to see where the character takes from point A to point B to point C all the way to point Z in a movie where he's already established. I'm tired of seeing an origin story, even
Right,
though
right. But
it's a
it's
good
strange.
one. It's a good one.
Well,
It's
I
a
mean,
different one. We haven't seen this
you
before.
needed an origin
We,
story.
we
It's
You
needed
needed it.
we needed one, of course, because this is a character not many people know about. But what I'm saying for me personally, that's the reason why I didn't like it that much because it was an origin story. But I understand why they needed it. It was needed, but that's why I'm thinking that this next one is probably going to be probably better for me than the first one.
See, but it's rare for the MCU to have a good first trilogy movie other than Iron Man and
Yeah,
Captain
Iron Man
America. Like
really went backwards with that.
Thor's origin movie, whatever it was named, it was just Thor, I think.
That Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah,
Guardians of the
yeah.
Galaxy.
It was like okay. It was like a 5.
No, you don't like it?
Yeah,
I
I
like
like it.
the
I like it. It was,
No,
but it
Jonil
wasn't.
didn't.
He didn't like it.
which I like the first. I like the first one. The first Guardians was good,
I
and
love
then
the
the
first
second
one.
one it
I
was.
would have thought you liked it with the music, the soundtrack, and
I
everything.
like the first one, but then the second one it was just like, okay, I already saw this. It was like
You know,
rinse and repeat.
I mentioned on my MCU rankings video with my other with the other guys, we were talking about how that movie specifically just felt like a Saturday or Sunday cartoon.
Yeah, there was nothing to it. It was just
It was just like a side story. But I'm not
here's
waiting.
a.
I'm not waiting a year and a half or whatever, and
It
all
was
this
like
hype for a throwaway TV show. You know, like I want something impacted. He met his father. His father died. He became a god in this movie, and then he lost his powers. What happened? Nothing. The blue man Yondu died, and that was about it.
I don't know.
there
I think
was
maybe it would have been
Baby
better as
Groot was
a
cool. Baby
series.
Groot was amazing. But still,
that was the thing. There was just so much. There wasn't like I don't know. It didn't have the same charm that the first one had because it was like something you never saw. But then after the second one came out, it was just like, okay, here's a
sometimes
fight
it is
scene.
harder.
Ha
Sometimes
ha
it is
ha.
harder
Here's
for
a
sequels
joke.
to.
Yeah, like Iron Man 2 and 3.
Iron Man 2 had a really,
They were
Iron
a
Man
bit
2 is a
struggle.
different story. That was just.
but it had
I
potential.
blame Iron Man
That
2
whole
on the
trilogy had
studio.
potential.
You know
Iron
what? The
Man
whole
2 is the
MCU had
studio's fault
potential.
and no one else.
They were about to do so many things with the MCU different. Like I feel like even though it took 10 years to build up this universe, they should have taken their time and added more characters. For example, if you're going to do Civil War, it should have been done the same way as the comics where you have all these characters like
The comic,
Wolverine,
the
Fantastic
comics are
Four.
not the movies, and I understand that's an easy thing to say, but look, they never knew they were going to get the rights back for X-Men. They never knew they were getting the rights to Spider-Man. They didn't even plan for Spider-Man to be in the movie, but it happened, and we're lucky it did. But there's a reason why we got these movies in the first place because they sold the rights to them decades ago. They couldn't do anything about it, and instead of waiting around and doing nothing, they went ahead with the movies they had. Which I mean, you got to do with what you have. You can't do with whatever. And right now, like a lot of people complain about now that we have the X-Men movies, I love it, but I understand the criticism that now that you have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, that now it's going to take longer for other movies to be made because these ones are getting made instead of different companies making them, which is something we're going to have to see how they handle it because
We don't talk about X-Men. That's like not even considered a
what do you,
Marvel cinematic universe, you
no,
know.
I'm talking about the new X-Men, like the ones that we're going to have.
They better be nothing like the original because the original were a little whack.
Logan was good.
Not even the first X-Men.
Not even the first.
I
The
enjoy
only
the first X-Men. Wow.
I did not. I
The
did
first
not
X-Men is
like
silly,
any
but
of.
it's good. Not even First Class or Days of Future Past, which are like the two good ones of the whole series.
No, no. The only character that I liked, I gotta say, was Wolverine, and that was pretty much it. And then separate from that, his origin
Give me one
story
second.
movie was good.
Oh.
Okay. So back to our original topic. What was it again? Sam Raimi, yes. So what do you guys think of this movie? Like, do you think, like, are you guys hoping for it? Are you looking forward to it? Like, what about this movie has you guys interested or de-interested at this point? With
What
this,
has me interested is Sam Raimi in general, because he'll probably bring some more humanity into the character of Doctor Strange instead of being this arrogant uh, guy who, you know, was a doctor and so what and so on. So he'll probably bring some humanity into Doctor Strange. Not only that, but I feel that there's something that Sam Raimi has, I don't know, this connection to these characters. Because, like, for example, Spider-Man, he cared a lot about the character. And you could see that in every decision that he made in Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. So if Marvel lets him do his own thing and doesn't interfere like Sony did with the third one, then I think this would be a very good movie. And it'll probably be the best one out of the MCU, but who knows?
you know,
Because
he
I thought,
actually, back in Spider-Man 2, I believe, no, Spider-Man 1, I think it was, where he made a reference to Doctor Strange. No, it was the second one. He was talking about Doc Ock, and he was suggesting Doctor Strange. And they were like,
oh
"Nah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
one's
yeah,
already taken."
that was taken, yeah. So he knows
Yeah,
his material.
he knows his
So
material. He likes Doctor Strange. Otherwise, he wouldn't have
that's
put it in there.
that's the thing that I didn't even know until, like, what was it, yesterday that you said it, or Saturday or Friday that you said he
Uh,
actually was.
I think it was Friday.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, you
Friday.
just
I
found out
didn't even
about
know that.
this,
Yeah.
and that's coming off watching the trilogy again. So
Yep.
you must have been pretty excited to hear that. So
Yeah.
let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this new change. Excited for Doctor Strange 2, not excited. Let us just know your opinions in the comment section below.
Here's
So
another
next,
thing. Another good. I'm sorry to get off topic, but now that I just thought
that's
about
okay.
the studio, the movie that would have been the definitive MCU movie was going to be Ant-Man, because of the sole purpose that they were going to have Edgar Wright directing it.
Edgar Wright
But
would
of
have been
course,
amazing.
Edgar Wright would have created the perfect movie for
He
Ant-Man.
was working on
Instead,
that movie for 10 years.
yep, he, he I don't even know why. I always forget the story of why he didn't do it at the end. I know it was
Well,
creative
the
differences with
reason why is
Marvel.
because I believe it was that he was gonna have Hank Pym, and it was gonna be like his own thing, but Marvel wanted to tie in the material, and wanted Paul Rudd to be Scott Lang. So there was a couple differences in opinion there, which, to be honest, that's the problem you get with cinematic universes. Everything has to be connected. You can't have the the freedom you want. I mean, look what happened to Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Those things weren't really tied into Justice League or the other DC movies. They were their own
I,
thing.
I haven't even seen both of them, so
Let me tell you,
Neither have
those
I.
really.
I saw Wonder Woman, not Aquaman. I mean, I
Uh,
saw the first 5 minutes and I was like, okay, I guess not. And then
no,
I geeked out.
me personally, I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty cool. I would suggest it
which
for you
one?
guys. Both of
Aquaman?
them. Both of them.
Uh,
Wonder Woman was actually good.
It
just
was.
some things that.
Way better than Captain Marvel. I'll tell you.
It was good.
That movie doesn't remind you that she's a woman every
Oh,
five
I know
minutes,
that. Oh, I know that. I know that. I know that. I
which
know
really
that
sucks because
Wonder
I
Woman
like
is
the
better
character.
than
I
Captain
love
Marvel.
the character of Captain Marvel. She is what she is.
You know, I honestly didn't think it was that bad. Like, it wasn't the best
Mm.
movie ever, but it wasn't
Like
that bad.
My biggest
Captain
problem,
Marvel.
Yeah.
my biggest problem with it is that she seemed to have a bland personality personality when it came to the role. But then again, she didn't really have her memory. She was learning everything. She was a
But
warrior.
that
Not much
doesn't
you could do
matter
about that.
though.
I know. I'm just trying to give it an out, a reason. But
No,
the biggest
there
problem for me
isn't.
was that it was a woman superhero movie that reminded you every moment they can that it was a superhero movie that was a woman. Instead of just it being a superhero that happened to be a woman, she was a superhero because she was a woman. And that became a problem because this isn't, I know movies are supposed to have an impact in our culture, but look at what Wonder Woman did. A majority of people enjoyed Wonder Woman for what it was. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. It was a really good movie. And she was a goddess, daughter of Zeus. But you know what? It didn't have that feminist mindset when coming to the theater. When you watch the movie for Captain Marvel, you see men disrespecting women. Look, I know these things happen. It happened. Okay, you can have some of those elements there, but to have it throughout the entire movie was annoying to deal with, and I just
Hit it
wasn't
throughout
having it.
the entire movie. It
It
had
had it
through the
throughout
I
movie.
didn't vibe at all.
I don't remember anything except for like two or three things.
the last song. Oh, I gotta plug in my computer.
Oh,
The last song.
because I'm just a girl or
'Cause
whatever.
I'm just a girl. Then
Oh my
it was
god.
a whole
Yeah.
bunch of things, and I don't want to really get into it
I
because
didn't get that vibe though. Is it because you don't like the actress, like Brie Larson herself? Or
she didn't help. She really didn't help when she was giving her interviews.
You know what? I was actually excited when they announced her
I
because
was excited. She won an
she was
Oscar.
really good. She was good in what was it?
Room.
Scott Pilgrim. No,
Oh,
I don't know. Scott Pilgrim. She
well, I
was really
watched
good in
Room,
that.
the movie she
No,
won an Oscar for.
I
That
haven't
one was a
seen that.
pretty good movie. I appreciated that.
no,
But here's the thing
I liked
about
her
that movie.
portrayal. I liked her
You liked
portrayal
what?
because then you get a lot of female heroes that, for example, like Jessica Alba's Sue Storm in Fantastic Four, where she's just kind of like useless and annoying.
All right, but what about Black Widow?
Black Widow, I like, but I feel like she would have been more likable if they did the comic version of her. You know, she's Russian and mysterious. Like they had a lot to pick from in terms of casting. However, I don't think
True.
Captain Marvel was bad. Like I didn't feel that feminist vibe or anything. I just think that people aren't used
I
to
didn't.
seeing her like a female superhero have their own movie. Wonder Woman
I
was
didn't
No,
even.
different.
Wonder Woman came out before. Wonder
Right,
Woman
but
I
came out
didn't even.
before
I didn't
and
even
had a
feel
whole
the.
different. What are we talking about again? This is not even part of the show
Hold on. Hold
topic.
on. Let me say something. Hold on. Hold on. To be honest, I didn't feel that vibe either. The whole feminist vibe. But I knew the movie was bad. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, let me just go in with an open mind, right? But it's just a bad movie in general. It doesn't have to do anything with it's all feminist. Sure, it has that. Well, I
That's not the
just
100% reason
contradicted
why the movie was not good.
myself.
That's just one of the major reasons I don't like it.
But it's just nothing works. There's no comedy. I've seen some stuff of like Wonder Woman, like the use of color, and when she's what is it? The island that she's in, and then when she goes to like Victorian era London, and that is amazing. The way that no, it's not Victorian era. It's an amazing like the way
Hey, you're kind of breaking up.
they colored the movie in those. But in Captain Marvel, oh I am. In Captain Marvel, there's no color, there's no personality. It's just bland. It's terrible.
Oh, wow. I honestly didn't think that. I think they did a good job. Samuel Jackson was pretty entertaining, and
I liked him in the movie.
That was the only thing that was good.
I just think you guys probably didn't like the story itself.
I actually kind of liked
Yes,
that
no,
was one of the things I liked in the movie.
I
The
didn't like
fact
the
that
story.
the terrorist group of the Skrulls was actually the good guys. I liked it because it reminded me of like real world history. That just give an example, um, the North Koreans they probably think that they're all good. China thinks they're all good. Probably the Middle Eastern terrorists that are over there they probably think they're good. United States also, like the soldiers, they probably think they're doing good. But you know what? At the end of the day, they all have their own propaganda, and that's exactly what the Kree, I think it's called, the Kree were doing, and then they mind wiped what's her name, Carol. They didn't mind wipe her, but like she had amnesia or whatever, and then they just like programmed her to be a Kree, and she lost all of that, and she became programmed to believing that the Kree were all this good, and the Skrulls were all that bad. And then she learns that it's not actually like that. It was all false. The things you think are the good things might not necessarily be as good as you thought it was. That's actually one of the few points in the movie that I did like.
And
But
that's why I don't like the
but
movie.
but we gotta stop right there because we do have other topics, and I don't want to waste time because uploading this stuff does get annoying when the time gets up. So, next topic.
What is
We're
the
gonna be
next one?
we talk about the Flash. Um, I know you guys said you don't watch the Flash, right?
I stopped watching like
I
third
haven't
of the
seen it.
season.
I haven't seen it after season 3. When
Yeah.
they were, what was it, Savitar?
Yeah.
They
All
showed
right,
who he was.
so
I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm
That's
done
where
with
I
the
stopped
show.
too.
due to the coronavirus, season what are we at 7? I think season 7 of the Flash
There's
gets
7
shortened.
seasons of the Flash.
I think this is the 7th season.
Wow.
God,
The 7th season?
they're doing an Arrow.
Hold on. So they shortened the season of the Flash season 7 to episode 19 because of the coronavirus. They weren't able to shoot the last remaining episodes of the series or the season, I mean. And then now whatever we get at the end of this next episode is what we're going to have for the rest of the season. And I believe what we were supposed to get for the last remaining episodes will just be pushed into the next season. So we're seeing a trend with all these shows and movies being pushed back. What do you guys think? I mean, you guys don't watch The Flash, but do you think any of these things might come out on whether it be Disney Plus or the CW app? Like, do you think that they might possibly do that, or what do you guys think about the situation?
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure Black Widow will come out on Disney Plus. I mean, that was for this year, so it's probably gonna come out on Disney Plus.
You know how much money they'd lose on doing that?
Well, I mean, what are they gonna wait until next year to
Well,
release it?
right
yeah,
now
because
I believe it's
back.
put on November. I think the shows maybe, but the movies I just don't see Disney doing that. It would make sense for the fans and since the movie's already made and all that, but I mean we just have the whole slate of the Marvel movies got pushed back a couple times. I'm just this is a depressing time for all of us movie fans. We're getting that's pushed back. The Batman movie just got pushed back. I
I'm glad
mean,
it did.
That was probably the
uh,
what?
no. I don't even want to ask.
That was probably the only exciting. That was the only exciting thing I was looking forward to.
The
I didn't
Batman
care
movie?
for Black. Yes, I didn't care for Black
yeah.
Widow or anything else, but the
Oh,
Batman
Robert
movie.
Pattinson as Batman with what's the director name?
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves. Oh my god, I was looking forward to that. But
mm,
it is what it is. So yeah, Flash season 7 cutting short due to the coronavirus, joining all the other IPs out there that are getting pushed back and shut down. So that's it for like the news for this week, guys. But we do have our couple segments that we're gonna be doing with the show. So this upcoming one is gonna be called the throwbacks, and each week we're gonna rotate, and we're gonna have one of us. We're gonna how do I phrase this? We're gonna talk about either a show or a movie that's come in the past, and we're gonna try to elaborate on it and talk about why we like it, or if it was underrated, or talk about how bad something was. Just something that resonated with us, which is why we're bringing it back to you guys. And after that, we're gonna have another segment called the Character Spotlight, which just like a throwback, but this is gonna be concentrated on a certain character from any sort of IP, whether it be Marvel, DC. Um, there's a whole bunch of IPs out there.
Image.
Hmm? Dark Horse. Um, there's we pull it from anything to be honest. But so now we're gonna start with the throwback. This week we have Jonil. Jonil, you're gonna be talking about what?
Daredevil.
Daredevil, the Netflix
And
one, right?
Netflix series. Yep. Probably not probably, but the best Marvel property out there. Anything, the best thing that Marvel has put out in all their catalog of movies or TV shows. Where to start? Where do I start with this show? I mean, there's the first time I saw this show, it was like something I had never seen before. And it might sound exaggerated, but at this when the show came out, I was like really into comics. I'm not that into comics anymore. But when it came out, like I was big into it, and there's just something that was so interesting and intriguing about it, because how are they going to turn a character that was laughable back in 2003 into a serious um into something to take seriously as a not only as a character but as a show. And the writers and the directors and even the cast, they just pulled it off. And I mean, from the first season, when that first season came out, I was just blown away. Every episode was like a 10 out of 10. There was no bad episode in the first season. The fight scenes, the cinematography, the dialogue, the script writing, the characters, the wardrobe, everything on the scale of the show. And especially since they were working on such a low budget, because it was a TV show compared to a movie, and they pulled it off. Man, I was speechless. And the funny thing is that there's people that actually don't like the show. Like I was talking to a coworker, and he said that Iron Fist was better than Daredevil, and that's where, yeah, I had the same reaction. I just don't understand why someone would say that, because Iron Fist was boring. There was nothing, there was nothing to like about the character. There was the story was jumbled up. There was some good stuff in one episode, and then everything else was bad. Danny Rand wasn't even likable. But then you have Daredevil, where you have Matt Murdock, who is a character that you feel sympathy for, because he's, you know, basically backstabbing his friends, going out, um, doing things that a blind man shouldn't do, even though he's not really blind, but he's kind of blind, but it's jumbled up. And then you have the dynamic of him and Foggy, that best friend dynamic. It was believable. It was like, it felt like you actually knew these people. If you were like one of their friends, that's how the dynamic was. And the show had one of the best, no, not one of the best villains to ever be put on the small screen, and that is Kingpin. And Vincent D'Onofrio gave an amazing performance as this character that you want to hate, but at the same time you feel bad for him because of the choices that he's made and the way that he really acts. He's like a big child. He's like a child in a shell of a older man, and yet that shell can be broken, and it did break when he met Vanessa, and that whole relationship wasn't even boring. It was so interesting because of the way he protected her and how she got to him, and yet he would go out and be this brute man, smashing people's heads with a car door. That's the first season. There's a lot to unpack because the season it's good, but it's not great like the first one.
I
It had
wonder.
some good episodes.
I wonder if they're gonna be putting it on Hulu or Netflix.
Disney Plus.
I mean, not Netflix. Hulu or Disney Plus.
I doubt Disney Plus. I doubt it.
Probably Hulu.
I doubt
That's
it.
where Disney's more adult content's going to. Yeah, man.
What do
I
they
mean,
have
I
there?
remember season
Runaways?
3. Runaways is on
Season
Disney Plus
3.
right now.
Oh my.
Season
Oh, it is?
3,
I thought it was on Hulu.
it got switched.
Oh.
Season 3 of Daredevil, the ending resonates with me. Seeing him beat Kingpin finally. Spoiler alert. And he
That
takes off his
that
mask and
was
yells,
such
"I beat you." He finally did it. He,
it sounds,
for a little bit,
yeah.
beat him. And
It
then,
was it it might sound dramatic, but that moment really gave me chills, because in that season, we just see a broken Matt Murdock, and it's something that most of these like characters don't like. Most of these writers for these movies don't dive in to the character that much, and we see
Because there's not
Matt
that much
Murdock's
time.
story.
There's only 2 hours
Yeah,
compared to a
but I
series.
mean, you can still do that with a
You can
movie.
try.
There's movies that have done that, but I mean, in a Marvel movie, it's just like, oh, this is your character, this is his
Marvel's
powers.
has a formula, and it's been
It
working
has a,
for them. They're not going to be changing anytime soon.
of course, it's been working for them, but after a while, you just get bored of it. But season 3, man, the whole thing that Matt Murdock is just broken. That like, and then when he comes back, he's just like, he's hallucinating, and the way that they really, oh man, the action in season 3, that scene in the prison,
I think one of the best
that
things about the show is how raw it actually is. It makes you feel like
it
he's a
is,
real
that's the
person and
thing.
he's in a real city.
That's one of my other points. That's why I sound so. I didn't really write anything up or any notes. I'm just talking about it from what I remember. But they they grounded him so much. Like the way he would just get hurt and still manage to fight, but then it was like at this point he really couldn't because he got beaten up so bad that it wasn't like, oh, he got beat up, I'll just come back the next day. But it was like there was a whole episode of just him trying to recover, and then him trying to fix his relationship with Foggy. And there was no action, there was no big explosions. It was just two characters trying to fix what was broken, and we see that through flashbacks, their friendship, and it switches from flashbacks to reality, and there's no big explosions or anything. It's just conversations, and that was probably one of the strongest episodes of the first season, and it's why I love the show so much, because it takes you away, and it doesn't, and you don't feel like you're gonna have a headache because of all these explosions that you're seeing. It's like the ending of Endgame. It was explosion after explosion after explosion after explosion, a little bit of conversation, fight, explosion, explosion. But here, you just get a relief because it's just characters, and that's why. Well, never mind. I won't even get into Endgame. That was the little thing that I had to say about it. But yeah, man, Daredevil is a 10 out of 10 show for me.
I remember
Strong characters,
whenever the
strong
trailers would come out,
villains too.
it'd be one of those things where like everyone runs to go and watch to go talk about in the lunchroom. I remember
Especially
we,
after the second, especially after the first season,
when we
when they
actually
announced the
knew what was
second
going on,
season.
yeah. And then seeing
Yeah,
those bullet holes go into the logo, and we knew who was coming. We
that
know
was the
Punisher
best
was
thing
coming.
about.
That
That
was
was the best
amazing.
thing about season 2.
I remember when the episodes would drop, everyone would rush towards it. It was like an event. It was like an event where we all would just escape reality for a little bit and is able to watch a show and enjoy it together. And that's what I love about the comic book universes with the shows and the movies. Because for an hour, 2 hours, or a show on Netflix, a couple 8 hours, we're able to escape reality for what it is and enjoy the world that we're given. Enjoy the content and see our childhood favorites acted out on screen. And I think that's just
It's
one of
not
the
even
most
that.
beautiful things about that. So thank you for doing that for our throwback, our first throwback, Daredevil Netflix series. In the comments below, please write down if you've seen it, if you're interested in it, if we probably put you on it, let us know. We love to hear back from you guys. So now we're gonna move on to our next one, the character spotlight with Scarlett. So Scarlett, who'd you choose for this week?
So I chose to do my character spotlight on Roy Harper, otherwise known as Arsenal or Red Arrow in the DC universe. And I think that they could do so much more with this character, and they don't take advantage of what they have with him. it's just my personal opinion. For example, think he was supposed to be in Injustice 2 or in one of those games. He would have been a great add-on, and they did nothing with him. I think that he has such a, rich backstory, and he's very interesting as a character. He's not one-dimensional like Superman. He has more grit and relatableness to real life versus other characters. So just a little backstory. His dad was a forest ranger, and his dad died saving a Navajo tribe from a major forest fire, and he was raised by that tribe, and that's why he likes shooting arrows. And Green Arrow noticed him, took him in as his apprentice, and their whole relationship in the comics has been very, very convoluted and crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys watched Young Justice, but even though that was a clone of Roy or whatever, spoiler alert, just in case no one's watched it, you can see the trouble between the two of them. And I really like how they make him to be a very 3D character. He has a lot of struggles. Like he has an addiction problem, and he also struggles a lot with walking the line. And I think that's why him and Jason or Red Hood, they get along so well, because they're not completely heroes per se. They are more like, I'll do what has to be done.
They're more anti-heroes, like Venom.
Yeah, pretty much. They're more
Love Venom.
They're more like, yeah, like you said, they're anti-heroes. They're more gritty and just, I don't care as long as it benefits me type of people. And while that could go obviously so wrong and a character can be unlikable, I think they do a good job of making him likable and determined. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen The Young Justice season 3 yet.
No.
I have.
I really like how they went into detail with him, and but I would like to see more of the clone version of him, because I think what they were gonna do was, since they already put Jason Todd in there, they were gonna have them team up and do the Outlaws situation. What do you think?
Jason Todd is in that show.
Yeah, he came out as like an Easter egg kind of at the end of one of the episodes.
Yeah. No, Young Justice, amazing show. We get a lot of Roy Harper arcs. There's also the CW show Arrow. The CW show Arrow. We see Roy Harper also in that one. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I watched Arrow when it first came out, and then I stopped around season 4. I liked his character, but at the same time, I didn't, because there were some moments that he was really like abrasive and a little annoying, to be honest.
He's a little bit of a grittier character, drug addiction.
You got that far in Arrow? I only saw season 2 and that was it.
No, I mean, okay, there are certain portrayals of him that I like more than others. Like, for me, the top version is Young Justice, but I also heard that he is going to be in Titans season 3 after Donna dies. Spoiler, if anybody hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
Really?
Thanks, you spoiled it for me.
You weren't gonna watch it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch it.
Well, I mean, it's stupid. So like, that whole scene was so stupid. We'll get into that another day. The point is that in the comics, he has like a huge relationship with Donna, and that's a whole thing. But I think what makes him really interesting is his relationship with Cheshire, as we see in Young Justice.
Yeah.
And his relationship with his daughter. I don't know. I think that he's a very proficient character, and they should take advantage of that and use him more. I don't think he's appreciated as much as other characters, and he shouldn't be seen as just, a sidekick or Red Hood's best friend. Like, he has so much more depth to him. I really hope we see him more. Maybe in Injustice 3, if there is going to be one, or maybe they'll dive more into into the original Roy Harper in Young Justice season 4.
Well,
What do you guys
Warner
think?
Brother executives, I hope you're watching. Scarlett right here. She's giving you some good ideas. They are free ideas until you bring us a contract. So, yeah, just hit us up. We have the ideas right here for a new episode, a new show with what is it, Roy Harper?
Yep.
I always get Red Hood and no, you
And
see, I did it again. I always confuse Red Hood and Red Arrow together. Arsenal, otherwise
well,
known as.
they probably won't do anything with him comic wise because I think he died in the recent comic book.
They can bring
Comic
him back.
books, they're one of the most
Everybody
confusing.
comes back.
The worst, there's only one worse continuity universe than the X-Men franchise, and that is comic book universes, primarily DC Comics.
Oh, for sure.
They reboot their things like every like they're Catholic rabbits. That's how many times they reboot their universes. It's really crazy.
Keeping up with Batman was pretty crazy when they did that New 52 and they rebooted every character and nobody was like on board with that. That was a big deal.
Marvel just did that recently too, right? They did it recently.
They did it with
Well, not
Secret Wars?
recently.
No.
No.
No,
They
Secret
did
Wars was the
something
last
else.
one.
Yeah, I think I know what he's talking about. They made it more, I think, like to the movies. They kind of mixed like the MCU version of the characters with the comic and just made it like this weird.
There's actually a comic book series about Doctor Strange right now. I saw it online, and like Doctor Strange in the comics was like watching over our universe and how Doctor Strange was coming out on in the movie theaters, and the Doctor Strange from the comic books, he's like, yes, I can see me looking like Benedict Cumberbatch. Like the comic book version of Doctor Strange is acknowledging the movie universe in our world. I don't know. It's pretty. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty trippy.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
All right, so that was our character spotlight. Thank you, Scarlett.
It's like
for
an
that.
advertisement.
It is like an advertisement. So that was our show for you guys today. I think it's a little under an hour, or it will be an hour. I need to start timing these just to be sure. But yeah. So
we were going to talk about Venom.
We did talk about Venom.
No, I thought we were going to talk about a review of Venom.
Oh, we were going to do that.
I made all these notes for no reason, Dakota.
No. We will get to that. We're going to have Jonil's reviews for this show. They're very important, just not right now. Just keep it steady because we will be talking about it. So next week we're going to have a new show with all of us. And then we're going to have a separate show just reviewing Endgame because these people have their terrible reviews on it. And I want to be here to be able to talk against it.
I wouldn't say terrible reviews.
I would say
it's correct. Just a harsh opinion on the movie.
It is a very harsh opinion on a very beautifully made movie. So today we talked about Venom. We talked about Doctor Strange 2. We talked about The Flash. We talked about Netflix's Daredevil. And we talked about Roy Harper's Arsenal, a.k.a. Red Arrow. So please, down in the comments below, let us know what you thought about the show, what you thought about a certain subject. What do you think about this show? Do you have any ideas for us? Do you have any comments, any notes you want to give us? Sooner or later, I will be starting to give out what did I call it, Scarlett? Giveaways. Yes, giveaways.
Dakota tokens? Oh, never mind.
No, not Dakota tokens.
A good idea.
I don't know what those are. I don't
know.
That. I don't want to get.
It's like a shoot buck.
A shoot buck.
1,000 shoot bucks get you one Moe's buck.
It gives you a shout out on the show. I don't know.
1,000 Coda bucks, you get a Coda coins. Coda coins, that's not bad.
Coda coins.
No, but so I'm gonna start doing giveaways. How you get a giveaway, you might ask? Well, 1, you gotta like the episode. 2, you gotta comment on the episode. And 3, you gotta be a subscriber. I'm not giving nothing to no one for free. You gotta work for this. All right. And I don't know if it's gonna be like a $20 gift card or what. Probably that, because it's probably the easiest thing to do. So just stay tuned for that. I will be announcing these announcements on different shows so that everyone is able to listen to it and um, actually do it. I'll announce when that all starts to go down. So just stay tuned for that.
One of
Um,
the options right now is a dinner date with Dakota. So that's
look,
on the storyboard.
I'm telling you right now, you, me, Flanagan's. Pretty good
Movies.
evening.
Never mind.
Well, when will that happen? Next year? Because I'm sure this won't end until like
All right.
He
Well,
can do it through
that
Zoom.
a
Do the
Zoom
dinner date
dinner
through
date. There you
Zoom.
go. There you go,
a
guys. I'm not
Zoom
that
dinner
desperate.
date. Okay.
Look, but for real, I want to start growing this channel. So I think the next best thing we can start doing once we hit 30 subscribers, we start doing a giveaway. So just shout it out, let your friends know, so that we can start pumping this channel out with more subscribers, more content, and more viewers. This is a community we're trying to grow, so I appreciate all you guys' effort. I appreciate you, Jonil and Scarlett, for joining the show. Um, we're gonna be regulars on. They're gonna be regulars on this show, so I really appreciate you guys. If you guys ever want to guest on the main show, just let me know. Um, right now I'm really busy with all this, but I appreciate you guys' help because it means a lot to me. That you guys are as dedicated, even more dedicated to this stuff than I am. So I really couldn't be doing this stuff without you. So I really appreciate it. Any final words?
I'm glad I could help someone as famous and busy as you, Dakota. It warms my dark heart.
Thank you, Scarlett. I'm glad I can get you out of the shell you live in. Jonil,
Um, mm,
any
I
final thoughts you
mean,
wanna?
I guess it's an honor. It's an honor, and
I
I
guess
just
it's an honor.
really, I
The
guess it's
last
an
time me
honor.
and Jonil has really interacted was
I
in high school. That was
It
about 2
really
years ago.
was. It was graduation. It was
I don't
graduation
even
when you
remember
decided to wear
graduation.
jeans. You
I
decided to wear jeans and
and I
sneakers, and we clowned you for it
you
because you
remembered
looked
that.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, I did wear jeans. No one told me not to wear jeans, so I wore jeans.
What do you mean nobody told you? Each teacher said, don't wear jeans. I think you're
Did
the
I wear
only one
jeans?
that did that. Yes.
Yeah, I was comfortable. No, it was cool. Like I walked across stage with like a money vest thing my parents made. It was pretty embarrassing at the time, but looking back on it, it was pretty dope. Anyways, so thank you guys. You guys have anything you want to plug for anyone to follow you guys at or no?
Not
Um,
really.
All right,
no,
yeah, these people are more private than my other. So that was the show for
I
you guys
wouldn't say
today.
private. There's nothing to plug unless you want to see my stories about music. Then okay.
He is a very, very big fan of an artist. That's okay. So, guys, thank you for
Probably.
watching the show. I really
Hope
appreciate it.
oh
Stay
my
tuned for
god.
more content. So, we'll catch you guys later.